how do you draw the market when you think of scale, you know? So how, let's say if you're looking to tap a South region, how would you want to, if there is one restaurateur here who's, let's say, in Chennai, and now he thinks that South India as a whole is a good market, what would you tell him on how to draw his market plan to penetrate his brand across the region?
I'll bring it to the very simple comment. Every restaurant is a single cell. Like it was said by earlier panelists in earlier sessions, it's one restaurant profitable at a time. When you've made it profitable, and it's profit you're chasing, not scale, you're able to replicate that model with how much bandwidth you have. Now, what's your bandwidth is your resources at the end of the day. So, one argument is I want to be in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Chennai. Like international brands want to be in New York, Frisco, Paris, London, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai. It's clear. You've announced, you've landed in all the markets. The other thought when you're scaling up is to say, I heard somebody say he's opened 2 Chinese restaurants in Bangalore. In the earlier session, I was standing back. Now, the other part is to say, do I go out into Hyderabad or I go out into Chennai with 2 more restaurants? Or how much do I populate Bangalore till my bandwidth stretches out? Till I can add resources to say now this market can stand on its own. Because the more we spread ourselves, we're adding overheads, we're straining our bandwidth, and then we start suffering. So my advice to people starting out is pick the scale you can follow. Now coming back to my organization, we bring in money through 157 odd POS machines every day. And it gets quite intensive to that factor. So the formula that we have taken to go out is get into a market, invest in the market, populate the market. So if you take Chennai, for example, there wouldn't be a kilometer radius or a kilometer and a half radius. You wouldn't find any of our, you wouldn't miss a brand in any of those circles. The next growth market for us we're focusing on is Bangalore, and now we're growing Kolkata. So when we look forward on the next horizon, we say, which are the next markets we want to go and put the green shoots in there, that over the next 2 years we would want to grow. But predominantly, we would look to grow the markets we've already invested in. Because we've already have material setups running in there, and then we will grow with the bandwidth we have in those markets. So that's to sum up something that I heard in the morning and what we do.
Do you think it's a good strategy for somebody who's scaling up to be able to put up, let's say if somebody is in Chennai and wants to enter Bangalore, then they could first put up the Bangalore restaurant on their own, even when they might have 30 restaurants within Chennai. And maybe at some later point of time, once they've sort of got that restaurant up and running and it's doing well, they could franchise it out and then further use that one restaurant to...
If there are 30, they're already an organized player.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that when you go to a new market, so let's say only if you're going from Chennai to Bangalore, do you think it makes more sense to put your first restaurant in Bangalore as a company outlet instead of franchising it out?
No, definitely company outlet comes first. You've got to walk the talk. You clearly got to walk the talk. You've got to go out there, and many people ask us in the franchising business, why do we pay these fees? Why do we pay this royalty? It comes back because we as a brand have gone out and made these investments. Because in this business, not every investment will yield you. In any business, not every investment will yield you. For every restaurant that opens, there is a mortality rate. That mortality rate exists with brands also. Markets may turn against you. A trade area may turn against you. All this happens in business. So when we've gone out into the market and proven, like take for example, French Loaf as a model, till the 12th store in Kolkata, we did not franchise. Okay. Then we started franchising. Today we are at 17 and we'll probably hit 24 in some time. But that comes back proving to people that the model works. You invest with us, your returns are visible, follow the same rules that have been laid out for the business, and we're all here to make money at the end of the day.
Mihir, did you at some point of time think that when you were going to Dubai, I mean, this was going to be your first venture in Dubai, that you should do a joint venture with a partner rather than actually sort of giving him the sole control? Because there would, if some things go wrong, then it's one single restaurant.
Actually, the Dubai outlet is a franchise outlet, and it's not a company-owned outlet because the labor laws and all were taken. So the whole the return on investment was taking too long. So we thought the person who's there already has an existing license would be faster and easier.
No, but did you think that you could do a JV with him instead of a pure play franchise, just to make sure that you were hand-holding him? And
So-
maybe, of course, later they could buy
So
you out.
operations are handled by us. It's not a JV.
Okay.
So we're getting this experience out of there. And so now we are launching our first outlet in Legoland, which is
Dubai.
launched. Yeah, Dubai Legoland. So it'll launch in by April maybe. So there are a lot of
So this first person whom you've given out the Dubai outlet, he's the same person who's doing the Lego outlet as well?
No, that's the company owned. So we've launched because normally our company strategize is we give one outlet as a franchise and second one we open. So we know all the difficulties which normally a first outlet may face.
Sure. And let's say now you entered Dubai. So would your next market be UAE, or would you want to, let's say, venture out to Africa or maybe,
No,
I
our
don't know,
next
Indonesia?
is Auckland and Frankfurt. So in 2017 we'll have both running.